Good morning. Welcome to our magical Monday. Let today be full of magics, beginning of a new week, and let this week be absolutely magical. So let's start with our Power of Dreams programming. Let's manifest our dreams. Let's think of it as becoming true. How wonderful. More power to our dreams. All right. Let's start with the very first book about creative visualization. So, yesterday we read about 4 points that all of us should include in our lives to creatively visualize. So, I hope you've done that. You've done some goal and you've tried to create that because very important to practice what we are learning. If we practice what we are learning, we are going to succeed for sure. No two ways about it. So very important to have exactly the 4 goals, which is setting your goals, which is also about creating a very clear image, mental movie, picture, whatever we wanted. Focusing on it as often, so maybe once in the morning, once at night, and once in the middle of the day, and being very, very, very positive about it. Now, we spoke about something yesterday that creative visualization works only for good and only for us, not for by large, if I want some dream of mine for my child or my spouse or my parents or my children, it may not work because their energy is also included, right? I'm not saying it will not work, but it may not work. Now, let's understand how creative visualization works. It only works for the good. So let's not fear that the power of creative visualization can be used for harmful ends. Suppose if I want कि उसका doomsday आ जाए और मेरा एकदम profit day आ जाए, that doesn't work. Creative visualization is a means of unblocking or dissolving the barriers we ourselves have created to the naturally harmonious, abundant, and loving flow of the universe. It is only truly effective when it is used in alignment with the highest goals and purposes for the highest good of all beings. Again, just see highest goals, highest purposes, highest good of all beings. तभी ये काम करेगा. एंड जब हमारे ब्लॉकेजेस खत्म हो जाएंगे, जब हम को डिसॉल्व कर लेंगे, then we will be who? Absolutely abundant, absolutely harmonious. And that's when the loving flow of the universe will work and we'll be able to achieve whatever we want. Now, if someone should attempt to use this powerful technique for a harmful, destructively selfish end, that person will only be demonstrating his or her ignorance of the law of karma. This is a basic principle as a law of radiation and attraction. As you sow, so shall you receive. So what will you reap? जो हम करेंगे वो हमें मिलेगा. Whatever you try to create for another will always boomerang back to you. That includes both loving, helpful or healing action and negative destructive ones. So अगर आपने negative destructive काम किया किसी के लिए, वो आपके पास भी आएगा ही. It also means that the more you use creative visualization to love and serve others, as well as your own highest good, the more love, happiness, and success will just naturally find their way to you. अच्छा करोगे तो अच्छा मिलेगा, बुरा करोगे तो बुरा मिलेगा. Very simple. Just to make sure that you are aware of this, it's a good idea to add the following phrase to any creative visualization process you do. This or something better now manifests for me in totally satisfying and harmonious ways for the highest good of all concerned. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये हम पढ़ चुके हैं, बोल चुके हैं, समझ भी चुके हैं, एंड ये हमें हमेशा बोलना है अपनी मैनिफेस्टेशन के बाद, अपनी क्रिएटिव विजुअलाइजेशन के बाद. एज एन एग्जाम्पल, if you're visualizing getting a job promotion, don't envision the person above you being fired, but imagine him or her moving on to other better things or to a better, more fulfilling job so that it works out for the good of all. तेरा मंगल मेरा मंगल सबका मंगल हो रे. Get that very very clear कि अगर आपको उन्नति चाहिए, प्रोग्रेस चाहिए, बिजनेस में ज्यादा टर्नओवर्स चाहिए, किसी और की जगह लेने की जगह बोले हम सबकी अपनी अपनी जगह रहे. दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट फॉर माय बिजनेस, एंड उसका भी अच्छा हो, मेरा भी बहुत अच्छा हो. इट्स नॉट लाइक कि उसका बुरा हो तो मेरा अच्छा हो, राइट? यू डोंट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड और फिगर आउट हाउ गुड दैट how that will happen. Try to decide what is best way it could work out. Simply assume that it is working out for the best and let universal intelligence take care of the details. What do you mean by universal intelligence? Can anyone tell me? Very simply, universal intelligence is all about love and light, all about love and light and abundance. Apne aap, let it plan what is good for who. Let that intelligence unfold. That's why we always say divine intelligence is guiding us. Divine guidance is always there. Divine love is always there. Let's believe in that. Now let's come to the most important chapter, which is always going to be there, and we have been writing them. We have a book for them. It's about affirmations. Now, what are affirmations? ठीक है, हम बोल रहे हैं सकारात्मक statements हैं, positive statements हैं. Let's understand the deep science. Affirmations are one of the most important elements of creative visualization. To affirm means to make firm. An affirmation is a strong positive statement that something is already so. It is a way of making firm that which we are imagining is there here. Most of us are aware of the fact that we have a nearly continuous inner dialogue going on in our minds. The mind is busy talking, chitter-chatter is happening to itself. It's keeping up an endless commentary about life, world, feelings, problems, other people. The words and ideas that run through our minds are very, very important. Most of the time, we aren't consciously aware of this stream of thoughts. And yet, what we are telling ourselves in our mind is a basis on which we form our experience of reality. Our mental commentary is always influencing whatever we are thinking. It's coloring our feelings. It's making our perceptions true about whatever is going on in our lives. And it is these very thought forms that ultimately attract and create everything that happens to us. जाने अनजाने में भी हमारे अंदर ताना बाना चल रहा है थॉट्स का. जो थॉट में दिल आएगा, हाँ, you believe in it, that will come true. चाहे वो अच्छा है, चाहे वो बुरा है. So please be careful of your thoughts. Whenever you have negative thoughts, simply go and switch yourself into a positive world. Anyone who's practiced meditation knows how difficult it can be to quiet this inner mind talk in order to connect with a deeper, wiser, intuitive mind. So we have been clear, right? When we began meditation, दिमाग हर जगह जा रहा था. Time लगा ना, तभी हम deep breaths लेते हैं, in and out. तो ना हम अपने mind को चुप करा सके, right? One traditional method practice involves simply observing the inner dialogue as objectively as possible. This is a very valuable experience as it allows you to become consciously aware of the content of your thoughts. Many of these thoughts are like tape recordings of old patterns we've had all our lives. They are old programming we picked up long ago, which is still influencing what's happening to us today. For example, we might find that we habitually think self-defeating thoughts such as, I'm not going to be able to do this, or this is never going to work out right. The practice of engaging in affirmation allows us to begin replacing some of our old, stale, worn out, negative mind chatter with the more positive ideas and concepts. It's a powerful technique one which can allow us in a short time to transform, one which there are many, many, many attitudes and expectations about life, and thereby help to change what we create for ourselves. So, very important for us to understand that there's one practice of meditation where we just sit down quietly and we let all the feelings come in. जो भी feelings आ रही, let them bring it on. And then we observe क्या क्या chatter चल रहा है. 99% आपकी programming का chatter चल रहा है. So if you really want to know what you're programmed at, just go quiet and go inward and see what's coming. It's very powerful. It helps you to understand who you are. And once you understand who you are, you can tap away the negativity of the programming and then accept it and then tap in your affirmations. Affirmations can be done silently, spoken aloud, written down, or even sung or chanted. Even 10 minutes a day is going to make a difference in whatever you're doing. How? You're repeating your effective affirmations. This can counterbalance years of old mental habits. If you become aware that you are repeating habitual negative thought patterns or attitudes, try saying an affirmation to yourself a few times right then and there. For example, if you find yourself thinking, oh, what's the use? I'll never get what I want. You might say to yourself, I have the ability to create what I want in my life, or I deserve to be happy and fulfilled. An affirmation can be any positive sentence, any positive statement. It can be very general or very specific. There are infinite number of positive affirmations. Here are a few just to give you some idea. Today, I'm going to only have affirmations as our meditation. So we'll skip this part. I'll include this so that you can feel the affirmation also. Next page and next page is also about that. So then just turn another page. Yes. So now there are a few important things to remember about affirmations. First, always phrase affirmations in the present tense, not in the future. Don't say, I wish, I will. It's very important to create your desire as if it already exists. अभी है present में. ऐसी affirmation होती है, right? Future की नहीं होती. अगर हम बोलते हैं I will get a wonderful job, तो हम हमेशा I will get a wonderful job की world में रहेंगे. हम क्या बोलते हैं I now have a wonderful new job. This is not lying to yourself. It is acknowledging the fact that everything is created first on the inner plane before it can manifest in external reality. So now do we understand why do we say that? पहले हम inner plane में इसको कर रहे हैं acknowledge, create कर रहे हैं, finally होगी ना. That's what they say, make castles in the air, then can you make them on Mother Earth. So please be careful, always in the present tense. Number 2, always phrase affirmations in the most positive way you can. Affirm what you do want, not what you don't want. Don't say, I no longer oversleep in the morning. But rather say, I now wake up on time and full of energy in the morning. कई लोग बोलते हैं, oh, I am no longer suffering from pain. तो अब suffering word भी आ गया, pain word भी आ गया. What do you say rather? Oh, I'm full of energy and I leap and I jump and I play and I'm energetic all the time. So obviously if you leap and you jump and you play and you're positive, obviously body में दर्द नहीं है, right? So please be careful of what you want to create rather than what you don't want to create. Suppose I'm no longer fat. What do you say? I'm absolutely healthy and thin. Healthy is also very important. At certain times, you may find it helpful to phrase affirmations negatively, especially when you're working on clearing out something or some specific emotional block or bad habit, such as, I don't need to get tense in order to get things accomplished. If so, you could always follow this type of affirmation with a positive one, which describes which you're designed to create. ये हम already कर रहे हैं उसमें tapping में. पहले हम एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं कि हमारे अंदर ये प्रॉब्लम है और फिर हम टैप इन कर रहे हैं. यहाँ पर भी हम बोलेंगे आई नाउ स्टे डीपली रिलैक्स्ड एंड सेंटर्ड एंड एवरीथिंग इज अकम्प्लिश्ड इजीली एंड एफर्टलेसली. Why do we say this? Because we're affirming that this is what we want in our life. In general, number 3, in general, the shorter and simpler the affirmation, the more effective it is. लंबी affirmation effective नहीं होगी. छोटा रखो, mind absorb कर पाएगा. An affirmation should be a clear statement that conveys a strong feeling The more feeling it conveys, the stronger impression it makes on your mind. Affirmations that are long, wordy, theoretical lose their emotional impact and become too mental. You'll be lost ताने बाने में फंस जाओगे words की. Always number 4. Always choose affirmations that feel totally right for you. What works for one person may not work at all for another. So one size fits all होता है, but not इतना. कई चीजें बहुत custom made होती हैं. An affirmation should feel positive, expansive, freeing, and or supportive. If it doesn't, please find another one. Try to change the words until it feels right. Of course, you may feel emotional resistance to any affirmation when you first use it, especially one which is really powerful for you and is going to make a real change in your consciousness. This is simply a natural fear of change and growth. Number 5, always remember that you are creating something new and fresh. You're not trying to redo or change what already exists. To do so would be to resist what is, which creates conflict and struggle. Take the attitude that you are accepting and handling whatever already exists in your life. And at the same time, every moment as a new opportunity to begin creating exactly what you desire and will make you happiest. That's something very, very, very important. Number 6, affirmations are not meant to contradict or change your feelings or emotions. In fact, it is important to understand that affirmations हमको feel good कराती हैं, accept कराती हैं. It is important to accept and experience all your feelings, including the so-called negative ones, without attempting to change them. At the same time, affirmations can help you create a new point of view about life that will enable you to have more and more satisfying experiences from now on. So please understand affirmations क्यों हम बोलते हैं, क्या होता है इसकी वजह से, right? ये नहीं होता कि आपको अपनी feelings accept नहीं कर सकते हो. In fact, comfortable होना चाहिए. Number 7, try as much as possible to create a feeling of belief and experience that your affirmations can be true. That temporary ही सही, do it. Temporarily, at least for a few minutes. जब आप affirmation बोल रहे हैं, at least वो 1-2 minute के लिए तो feel है, wow, it's come true. It's really become true. When you do that, you're putting the affirmation into a manner where you're putting a lot of positivity in it. Now suspend your doubts and hesitations and put your full mental image and emotional energy into them. अगर doubts आ रहे हैं, resistance आ रही है, negative thoughts आ रहे हैं आपके affirmation करते हुए, please do not do them. Then what you have to do is clearing process, writing affirmations process given in part 4 of this book. वो clearing कैसे होती है हम करेंगे, but उसके लिए I would say at the moment tapping कर लो. जो भी negativity thought आ रही है उसको accept कर लो कि okay, I have this coming up in my life. Tap it away and enter with affirmations, right? Now, rather than saying affirmations by rote, मतलब याद करने की जगह, feeling is important. Words are not so important. Feeling is important. क्या feel कर रहे हो, क्या बोल रहे हो, now that has a power to create that reality, which in fact we always have. We always have the power. It'll make a huge difference in how effective they can be. So please, please, please do that. Now, affirmations can be used alone or in combination with visualizing or imaging. So अभी जब मैं आज करने वाली हूँ meditation on affirmations, अब आपको इसको image attach करनी है, कर सकते हो, visualize करना है, कर सकते हो, सिर्फ सुनना है, समझना है, कर सकते हो, whatever works. It's very effective to include affirmations as part of a regular creative visualization meditation every other day. Later in this book, all of us will get ideas of how many ways there are of how we can use affirmations. There will come a time, all of us will be conditioned, हम बातें ही affirmation में शुरू कर देंगे. कल मैं टोका ना किसी को कि आप ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे हो, बिकॉज हमको अल्टीमेटली अपने आप को रीप्रोग्राम करना है, रीवायर करना है इनटू टॉकिंग इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ एफर्मेशंस. नेगेटिविटी आएगी, आई एम नॉट सेइंग नहीं आएगी, बट उसको भी टैकल करना है, मॉडिफाई के तरीके से बात करना है. फॉर मेनी पीपल Affirmations are most powerful and inspiring when they include references to spiritual source. बहुत लोग बहुत ज्यादा रिलीजियस होते हैं, सो उनका एक सोर्स होता है जिससे उनको लगता है कि दिस इज हाउ वी गेट स्ट्रेंथ. तो कई बार गॉड, गॉडेस, यूनिवर्स, हायर पावर, स्पिरिट, मदर अर्थ, divine love, whatever phrase we prefer, can add spiritual energy to our affirmations, acknowledging the universal sources of all things. So, of course, I will be again using these also in today's affirmation meditation, so you can flip. So, all of these will be coming in that world. Let's understand very, very clearly. We are right, and yes, sir, I will read the next chapter too. एक spiritual paradox में हम लोग रुके हुए हैं. What is a spiritual paradox? Sometimes people who have studied Eastern philosophy or are on a certain consciousness growth path feel a hesitation about using creative visualization when they first hear of it. अब वो बोलते नहीं, हमको ट्रस्ट प्रोसेस को ट्रस्ट करना चाहिए, हम बीच में मैनिफेस्ट कैसे कर सकते हैं, हम क्रिएटिवली हम तो हैम्पर कर रहे हैं, हम तो बीच में इंटरफियर कर रहे हैं. Now, their conflict comes from the apparent paradox they see between the idea of being here now, जहां हो जैसे हो वैसे जियो, letting go of attachments and desires. उनको लगता है, and wrong, कुछ भी wrong नहीं, कुछ भी right नहीं है. They feel कि let go करो, attachment, desires, because ultimately हमको easy surrender होना है. That's okay. And ultimately हम सबको करना ही है वो, right? So, but अभी at the moment जब सांसारिक जीवन में है, so we want our ideas and attachments to come true, right? कि attachment जिससे हमको है वो पूरा हो जाए, जो desire है वो पूरी हो जाए. तो इसीलिए setting goals and creating what we want in life is important right now. कई लोग के लिए it's very apparent, like this apparent paradox is there in actuality because there is no contradiction between the two teachings when they're understood on a deeper level. अगर हम deeper level पे जाएं तो कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन है ही नहीं. क्यों नहीं है? लव एंड लाइट से हम पैदा हुए हैं और जो कुछ भी लव एंड लाइट से बढ़ सकती है हम उसको अट्रैक्ट कर रहे हैं. तो प्रोसेस ऑफ लाइफ में भी यही है. अगर हम इसको डिफरेंट करें, डिविजन करें, तो ऑफ कोर्स डिफरेंट लगेगा. अगर डीप ब्रेक करेंगे तो इट्स ऑल द सेम. They are both important principles that must be understood and lived in order for you to become a conscious person. In order to explain how they fit together, allow me to share with you my viewpoint about the process of inner growth. Many people in our culture have become cut off from their awareness of the spiritual essence. All of us, I think, जब हमने ये कोर्स ज्वाइन किया, हम कहीं ना कहीं spiritual essence से कट हो चुके थे. हमें पता ही नहीं था कि it's all about goodness. We had temporarily lost the entire essence. We had temporarily taken ourselves away from it. And हमारा जो conscious connection था, जो aware थे अपने higher selves के बारे में, कहीं ना कहीं we had lost it. Now we're regaining the sense of responsibility, power back in our lives, right? In some inner way, we have a sense of helplessness. We feel basically powerless to make real changes in our lives in the world. कितने लोग को ये लगता था या अभी भी लगता है, ये तो हमारे बस की बात ही नहीं है, हमारे beyond है, and we can't change anything. And now that we are in this world, we feel, oh, everything is changeable. It's about me and my thoughts. क्या ये shift आया है हमारे में? If yes, please type yes. If not, it's all right to even not type or say no. This inner feeling of powerlessness causes us to compensate or overcompensate by striving, by struggling very hard to have some degree of power or control in our lives. So very, very important. Thank you for so many yeses. Makes my heart glad. Now, जब हम लाइफ में होपलेस फील करते हैं, हेल्पलेस फील करते हैं, पावरलेस फील करते हैं, तो देयर इज एब्सोल्युटली वी आर सक्ड ऑफ द एनर्जी. लेकिन द मिनट ऑल ऑफ अस ट्राई एंड फील कि ओ आई कैन डू इट, एंड मुझे बहुत मेहनत भी नहीं करनी पड़ती, लॉ ऑफ अट्रैक्शन फॉलो करता हूँ, मैनिफेस्टेशन फॉलो करता हूँ, फील गुड करता हूँ, डू गुड करता हूँ, एंड ऑल ऑफ अ सडन एवरीथिंग इज पॉसिबल. मैनिफेस्ट करने के लिए मेडिटेशन करता हूँ एंड लाइफ इज सो अमेजिंग. So that shift is very beautiful. There you have the power. Now, most of us therefore become very goal oriented. We become, now read this very clearly. Goals jab bante hain, we become emotionally attached to things and people outside of ourselves, which we feel we need in order to be happy. We feel there is something missing inside ourselves and we become tense, anxious, stressed, continuously trying to fill up the gap. trying to manipulate the outside world in order to get what we want. And this is not a feel good area, trust me. अगर आप इतने गोल ओरिएंटेड बन गए हैं, इतने इमोशनल बन गए हैं, इतना अटैच्ड हो गए हैं, सो यू हैव टू लेट गो. बिकॉज जब आप बहुत अटैच हो जाओगे, there will be a very fine thin line between frustration, desperation, and actual need. If you are so frustrated and desperate, you will attract only the negative and the opposite. Then if you're trying to manipulate people or situations or events, you will not get the desired result. Remember, manifestation, creative visualization only works for the good, not to manipulate one another. Otherwise, the law of karma will apply. What we give is what we get. And this is a state of being from which most of us are setting goals, and trying to create what we want in life. And unfortunately, from this level of consciousness, it doesn't work at all. Either we set up so many obstacles for ourselves that we can't succeed, or we do succeed in reaching our goals only to find that they don't bring us inner happiness. It is at the point where we realize this dilemma that we begin to open up to a spiritual path. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. जब लाइफ में बहुत रुकावटें आती हैं, बहुत परेशानी आती हैं, तब you resort to religion or spirituality. We then realize that there simply has to be something more to life, and we begin to search for it. कि मेरी लाइफ का पर्पस क्या है, क्या इसी में फंसना है? तभी जाकर कई लोग ओल्ड एज में जाकर दे स्टार्ट लुकिंग आउट फॉर स्पिरिचुअलिटी कि हमने ये सब कर लिया, अब क्या, नाउ व्हाट. We may go through many different experiences and processes in our search. Eventually, we are gradually restored to ourselves. That is, we come back with an experience of our spiritual essence. The universal energy within us, all, is always there, prevalent, and we understand that again. Now, this entire experience can be restored in our spiritual power also, and in that emptiness which we feel inside us. We fill it up with what? Love and light. Now, are we supposed to get back to a supposed paradox? And should we get back to it? The $1,000,000 question. Let's understand. When we're coming out of the empty, grasping, manipulative condition, the first and foremost lesson to be learned is just to let go. We must relax. We must stop struggling, must stop trying so hard. And most definitely, we must stop manipulating things and people to try to get what we want or need. In fact, isko karne se, it's just a very depressing experience. In fact, stop doing so much and have an experience of just being there for a while. Just be in the moment, the power of now. When we do this, we suddenly discover that we're really perfectly okay. In fact, we feel quite wonderful. Just letting ourselves be and letting the world be without trying to change things. This is the basic experience of being here and now. It is what the Buddhist philosophy means by letting go of attachment. It's similar to the Christian concept of God's will be done. It is a very freeing experience and a most basic one on any path of self-awareness. Once you have begun to have this experience more and more often, you're opening up the channel to your higher self, to your higher spiritual being. And the sooner or later you get that, the natural creative energy will begin to flow through you. So sometimes when you're blocked, just feel this Brahmyantra, your crown chakra is opening up, and just feel the divine energy coming and healing you and guiding you. All of a sudden, you'll find an energy burst. You start to see things that you're already creating your whole life and every experience that happens to you. And that's when you become interested in creating more rewarding experiences for yourselves and other people around you. This is when we begin to focus our energy towards the highest and the most fulfilling goals, which are real for us at this moment. This is when we realize that basically life is amazing. Life can be really good. It can be abundant. It's often fun. And that having said that, we get what we truly want. Truly want means coherence between heart and our brain. जो बोल रहे हैं वो feel कर रहे हैं, that's what we get. बिना struggle के, बिना strain के, बिना stress के, because this is our part of our natural birthright as a function of being just alive. Remember, we are born with love and light. सब कुछ मिलना is a part of mother nature. कैसे नहीं मिलेगा कुछ चाहोगे तो, पर वो डार्कनेस आएगी क्या, बहुत मुश्किल है, तथास्तु, मुश्किल है, मुझे तो सब कुछ बहुत आराम से मिल जाता है, तथास्तु, सब कुछ मिल जाता है. This is when creative visualization can become a most important tool. Here is a metaphor that I hope will make it even more clearer. Example, and let's read it. Let us imagine that life is like a river. Most people are clinging to the bank, afraid to let go, and risk being carried along by the current of the river. At a certain point, each person must be willing to simply let go and trust the river to carry him along with him safely. At this point, he learns to go with the flow, and it feels wonderful. Once he's become accustomed to being in the flow of the river, he can begin to look around ahead and guide his own course onward, deciding where the course looks best, the way around boulders and snags, and choosing which of the many channels and branches of the river he prefers to follow, all the while still going with the flow. That's why we keep saying, be like the river, be like water, simply flow. जो रेजिस्टेंस करोगे तो क्या होगा, जो पानी आपको आ रहा है हाथों में स्ट्रेस देगा, टेंशन देगा, आप you'll be like drowning. But if you start flowing, you'll be like just sailing, you'll be flowing. This example, this metaphor, this comparison shows us how all of us can accept our lives here and now, flowing with what is, and at the same time guiding ourselves consciously towards our goals by taking responsibility for creating our own lives. Remember that creative visualization is a tool that can be used for any purpose: spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, anything. It's for our growth. It's often very, very, very helpful to use creative visualization in picturing yourself a more relaxed, open person, flowing person, living in the here and now, and always connected with your inner essence. May you be blessed with everything your heart desires. How wonderful. So it is. All right, Rahul sir, time to move on to our sun salutations. So let's understand that affirmations are beautiful, and today's meditation will be about affirmations, and you can visualize them or feel them when I'm saying them out. And we have to just start flowing in this world of gratitude, of knowing that all that we're getting right now is at the right point, right place, because we're meant to do it. So very, very important to understand. Let's get up for a sun salutation. Let's stand up.
The Surya Namaskar with mantras. Om Mitraye Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaye Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaye Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityaye Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkaye Namaha. Om Bhaskaraye Namaha. Salutations to the universal friend. Salutations to the resplendent sun. Salutations to the energy that induces activity within us. Salutations to the one who illumines. Salutations to the sun moving across the sky. Salutations to the giver of strength. Salutations to the golden cosmic self. Salutations to the Lord of the dawn. Salutations to the son of Aditi, the cosmic mother. Salutations to the benevolent mother. Salutations to the energy that we praise, and to the one who guides us to salvation. The sun salutation now with the names of the postures, both in Sanskrit and English. Pranamasan, Hastuthanasan, Madhastasan, left leg back, Ashwasanchalanasan, Parvatasan, and hold this position And now slowly progressing into the deeper version of Parvatasan, Adho Mukh Shvanasana. Ashtang Namaskar. Bhujangasana. Parvatasana. Left forward Ashwa Sanchalanasana. Padahastasana. Hastuttanasana. Pranamasana. On the right side, prayer position. Raised arms pose. Hand to feet pose. Right leg back, equestrian pose. Mountain pose. Hold mountain pose. And slowly moving into the deeper version of mountain, the downward facing dog. Salute with 8 limbs. Cobra. Press back to mountain. Right forward, equestrian pose. Hand to feet pose. Raised arms position. Prayer pose. One round of the sun salutation with awareness on the breathing. So exhaling our hands to the chest, pranam. Inhaling as we bend back. We exhale as we fold forward. Left leg back, inhale as we're arching back. Exhale into the forward. Hold the breath for knees, chest, chin. Inhale as we arch back. Exhale into the forward. Left leg forward, inhale. This is a back bend. Exhale whenever we bend forward. Inhale as we bend back. Exhale, hands to the chest. And on the right, deep breathing. Exhale. A deep inhale. A long exhale. Right leg back with an inhale. And exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Right leg forward with a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
Wonderful. All right, everyone. So let's start our other book for the day, Tapping into Wealth. Very, very important for all of us to tap into wealth and realize what is our entire need for in our life. Where are we moving? What kind of energies do we have? What do we need to invite in our lives? So we have become amazing at that. But now, today is even most amazing. Why? It's about becoming a great receiver. Do you tend to try to do everything for yourself? Does not being dependent on being matter greatly to you? So very, very important for everyone to understand a couple of things. That we have to be independent come what may. Would you rather work and be responsible for everything, even to the point of failure, than ask for help? At some point in our life, we may decide that we are on our own. We took a vow to never depend on anyone. This is very common vow that can be tough to break because it's often taken out of necessity when you're young and reinforced over and over in adulthood. As you read these next sentences, do any one of you feel for yourself, feel these are true for yourself? Now, have you made a vow never to be vulnerable? Never have needs you can't take care of yourself. Never ask for what you really like. Never rely on anyone. Never let yourself feel your deepest needs. Jane anjane mein, knowingly, unknowingly, we tend to create some vows. And when we create them, they stay in our life forever and ever and ever. We may be thinking, yes, I did. And that makes sense to me. It can make absolute sense to have a vow to not be vulnerable or needy. Being vulnerable leaves you open to being hurt. Needing things from people leaves you open to being disappointed. We might also equate it with being needy or being a victim. And that doesn't sound great. After all, aren't we supposed to protect ourselves? Taking care of our own needs can seem safer and assure us that what needs to be done will be done. You won't have to nag someone to help with something or be stuck if someone lets you down. This vow is often viewed as smart, what seems best for you, and totally necessary. Not counting on others protects you from being disappointed or feeling betrayed when they don't come through for you. Which is why कई लोग delegate नहीं कर पाते. Like, नहीं भाई अगर गड़बड़ हो जाएगी तो they vow to be perfect. Now perfection is a vow in itself. Now what happens? Are we actually open and receptive जो हम रोज बोलते हैं? Yeah. Do we have a blockage? Let's understand. What is blocking support? While it may seem practical, there's a big downside to this vow that can specifically keep you from having both more money and more ease in our life and career. When you decide you don't need anything from others or the world, you block yourself from asking and receiving. If you have a vow to never be vulnerable or needy, you instead become guarded and closed. It's always impossible to receive when you are in this state. The funny thing is that often people who made this vow say what they really want is to feel more support by both money and people. They aren't aware that their vow keeps them from satisfying those desires. And ये जो हम vows लेते हैं ना, ये हम बहुत unknowingly लेते हैं, very rarely knowingly लेते हैं. Vows लेने का मतलब अपने आप को एक paradigm में, एक cage में fix कर लेना. And वो limitless नहीं बन पाते. So very, very important to understand. Now, when it comes to setting a big wealth goal, there are two sides to the equation. First one is working or doing part. Most people who aren't good at the second part, which is receiving, are extremely good and comfortable with the first part. But you must also allow yourself to receive all the rewards of your hard work in the form of money, recognition, and an easy life. While logically it would seem like this is the part everyone welcomes, yet it's the most problematic part. If you vow to never be needy, this vow conflicts with the ability to receive praise, recognition, compliments, and attention for achievements. Does this sound like you? Have you ever said something like, I'm not doing it for the credit, or I don't need the compliments? In a sense, it means that you are doing it for the accomplishment itself and not for the reward. If you want more money, you need to do it for both. Admit it and be ready and willing to receive it. ये 99% लोग आप लोग बोलेंगे कि yes, ये तो होता है. मैं तो ये कई बार बोल चुका हूँ. So now it's very important for us to correct ourselves. Those who are willing to openly ask for and receive support recognize that achieving huge goals happens faster when you have enlisted assistance and have people to collaborate with. Basically, support system. Whether it's an actual team of people helping you with your goal, or it's emotional and mental support, or of a peer group helping you with your goal, or allowing you to expand your capitalize your brilliance to achieve great things, it doesn't matter. When you know you can't do it alone, you may feel sad, you may feel frustrated, you may feel be envious of people that this person can't help me, that person can't help me. Now, how do we see if this vow is played out in our mind? So let's do an exercise to understand that all of us will now try and see कि हमने ये vow लिए कि नहीं. Are we actually open and receptive? सिर्फ नाम के लिए. Now, please take a deep breath in. Everyone, if you want to close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Relax. Just relax. Keep relaxing. Think back of a time when you were a little child. How well did your parents meet your emotional needs? कितने अटेंटिव थे आपके पेरेंट्स जब आपको इमोशनली कुछ चाहिए था बचपन में? How loving were they? How affectionate were they? Did they allow you to need them? Or were they emotionally absent or critical? Picture yourself as a young child and imagine that you're asking your parents for more attention, love, or a hug. Let this mental movie play on in your mind. क्या हुआ? What happened? आपके पेरेंट्स विलिंग हैं, एबल हैं आपके डिमांड्स को मीट करने के लिए, या आप बिजी हैं? क्या रिएक्शन है आपका? What reaction do you have? Can you see where you look? Can you see where you took this vow to not ask anymore? Maybe to never feel the impulse to ask. Let any thoughts come up, any thoughts. Even if the memories are painful. Don't close yourself. कि नहीं मेरे बचपन में ये हुआ, I don't have to feel the pain. Don't close yourself. Be open and receptive, even if it's pain. The more details you remember, the more you can get clearer. Stay with the feeling. कि parents available थे या डांट रहे थे, criticize कर रहे थे. Now gradually you can open your eyes. जो आपकी feelings हैं आपको पता है. By now you know, you can write them down in the chat box if you want, so that we can analyze each other's feelings. This is how often we take vows to never ask what our true requirements are. Were you comfortable reaching out to give or get love, affection, attention, nurturing? Or did you suppress those needs because you learned early that your parents and others were not able to or willing to meet them? Some people only remember believing it was fruitless to ask, so they decided to never want anything from the parents. In effect, dismissing them as caregivers and going to do it alone. बहुत लोगों ने किया है, अच्छी अच्छी families में लोगों ने किया है. Thank you, Jaji, for writing. If your parents or caregivers didn't have the ability, the desire or capacity to give what you really needed, that could shut down the very impulse of wanting them. So sometimes, yes, you're right. Some mothers are available, fathers aren't. Some places fathers are available, mothers aren't. But remember, we are a whole. हम पैदा भी हुए हैं because of our father and our mother both. तो हमारे में शिव and शक्ति दोनों हैं. Feeling of vulnerability of a feminine touch and a masculine touch. अगर एक भी missing होता है, तो कहीं ना कहीं जाने अनजाने हम अधूरे होते हैं. That is what कई बार लगता है कि हम vow ले लेते हैं, the masculine missing energy or the feminine missing energy. Let's understand and let's not blame our parents because उनको नहीं पता वो क्या कर रहे हैं. अपनी जान में उस समय उन्होंने अपनी बेस्ट इंटेलिजेंस से काम किया. क्या पता उस समय उनको लगता हो कि राइट नाउ मेरा काम करने का फर्ज है बिकॉज आई एम द ब्रेड विनर ऑफ द फैमिली. अभी मुझे पैसे कमाने हैं. उस प्रोसेस में उन्होंने ये नहीं देखा कि लव is something I need to give to my child, right? It's all right. Let's not judge them. But let's understand कि हमारे अंदर ये vow अगर हमने लिया है, how will we clear that? Some of us may feel shut down completely कि हमें मांगना ही नहीं, पूछना ही नहीं है. और आज भी वो चल रहा है. And some of us may have short circuit feeling of real needs and real desires. Some of us may cry and oh my God, मेरे तो parents ही नहीं थे. This doesn't work. Parents नहीं थे तो कोई तो था. अगर हम orphanage में भी हैं तो कोई तो था वहां पे. How do we feel? It's okay whatever we feel. Painful है नहीं है doesn't matter. The thing is उसको देखना जो हमने बचपन में feel किया because वो हमारी conditioning हो गई है. Like I belong to a family where everything was great. But at 7 years of age, मुझे मेरे betterment के लिए दिल्ली भेजा गया था for my higher education. But that time I needed the love and support of my father, who I loved to infinity. आज भी मेरे मन में वो एहसास है and I'm not able to open up to my dad because I miss connection that time. Today I'm 43. This is the kind of impression we live with. I'm not saying my parents did wrong to me. No, they did right for me at that point. Unki energy thi. They did not know that this is what physically I need them. That mental little child at 7 years old thought my parents have a son and they have a daughter, and my grandparents have another grandchild, which is there. The three of them are unit. So I am the extra one in the family. So what do we resonate? When I did this first time, it was very painful for me. Oh, I need emotional support and there's no one around me. Grandparents are happy with the Gigi and parents are happy with the younger siblings. I'm nowhere. So it showed me that, okay, I had probably taken a vow that I'll become independent. Until date, I'm so independent. And when I did this entire exercise and tapping, I started becoming a receiver. उसके पहले मैं photographs में नहीं थी बचपन में. I used to cut my photographs away, not liking what I saw. I never got the pictures clicked because I just felt I'm not required anywhere. So it helps us, even when I became a parent, I probably felt that. So it just becomes a part of us unknowingly. So please understand, it is about accepting who we truly are. Now, in effect, you learn to run your true feelings and needs through your thought process of deciding which are appropriate. They're likely to be met and not too needy. And that don't fit, that mold gets pushed aside. Similarly, vowing to never be vulnerable and express your feelings and deepest needs can seem like a good way to protect yourself from further pain and disappointment. But these vows are made because we believe they'll keep us strong and safe. They say no to needing anything from other people. Keep me independent too. I'm complete. I'm whole. I don't need anyone else. This fuels determination to take care of yourself. I can use my own brains. I can use my own strength. I can make stuff happen. I'm independent. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's good to have those feelings, but not out of a rebound or a retaliation or feeling deprived. If you feel these feelings because you've arrived at them and affirmed and reached them, it's fine. But if they have a lack of love as the basic reason, the grassroots reason, there will always be a lack of love in our life, and even our goals will not be able to achieve because somehow deep inside we have pain. So even though I've tapped away the negativity, sometimes I have a heavy heart. But why did I have to go through separation at that age? So it's okay to accept the negativity or the feelings that are coming in because that's who we are. Truly, we are humans, right? Again, I have a strong persona. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. Okay, great. But we are flawful also. Na? Flawless kisko banna hai? Flawless skin bolte hain, flawless personality bolte hain. Who says? Flaws are beautiful, yeah. Chand mein bhi itne sare daag hain. That's what makes us beautiful. So why should we become flawless? So अगर हमारी vulnerability है, we feel some anxiety, we feel some lack of love, accept it ना. अभी भी देखो group में हम chat box में देख रहे हैं, some of us are still feeling that we are going to be judged. हमने अभी भी accept नहीं किया. या हमने blank memory कर दी. So I would say अमित अगर हमने blank memory भी कर रही है तो it's not great. इसका मतलब कुछ ऐसा है जो हमको we don't want to address it only. तो वो हमारी blockages हैं. We have to work on our inner journey. Just 4 of us replied. Why? Because blockages इतनी सारे हैं. अगर हम open and vulnerable होते हम लिखते जो हमें feel होता, पर हमने लिखा ही नहीं क्योंकि हमने blank out करने की try किया. मैंने कई लोग का आंख देखी, मैंने खोल रखा था कि नहीं मुझे जाना ही नहीं उस memory में. Open and receptive है ही नहीं हम रोज पाठ पढ़ रहे हैं. I'm open and I'm receptive. For example, Kathy was an extremely hardworking woman who had accomplished a lot in her career as an administrator in a social service organization. She was tired, burnt out, and often had insomnia, worrying about her work responsibilities. After admitting to doing the work of 2 people following a staff member's departure, she said she desperately wanted to find a man to share her life with. Someone she could lean on, take vacations with, have a great time with, basically just a partner. Now, this was very difficult for her because Kathy worked so much, she had no time to date. Plus, the thought of dating made her feel very guarded. A few attempts ended in disaster, and she comforted herself by saying, I never get to use my vacation time anyways. I always end up covering for everyone, so there's no time for me to take off. Kathy couldn't understand why things had turned out this way and felt a lot of resentment towards her staff. She used every last vacation day each year. Yet, with all her sacrifices, she also did advance in ways that were commensurate with her work she put in. She was particularly triggered by one woman in her office who often played the role of a damsel in distress, but was able to get raises and promotions because she always asked for them. So, the damsels in distress क्यों work करती हैं offices में? इतनी softy types की होती हैं. Oh, I can't do this, sir. Oh, I can't do this, ma'am. I need this. I need this. अब I need this तो मिल भी जाता है. जो strong put up करते हैं कि नहीं, I'm good, I'm good. अब बोलो वो तो good है, देने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. खुद देख लो ना, जो मांग रहा है उसको मिल रहा है. हम मांगते क्यों नहीं है? हम क्यों इतना strong बने हुए हैं कि अरे हमें let's be open and receptive. Let's be a receiver. हाँ देंगे पूरा, but receive करने के लिए open तो हो. Now, Kathy was very upset with this damsel in distress. Now, she's scornfully noted that her co-workers was always being rescued but taken care by her of her husband. I pointed out how much judgment, criticism she directed at someone who had exactly what she wanted most. ये बात देख लेना लाइफ में, जो हम क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं दूसरों में, कहीं ना कहीं उसकी नीड हमको होती है, नहीं है इसलिए हम क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हैं. It's a reflection. हमें वो दिख रहा है because we feel that's missing in our life. Tomorrow we'll take up this journey कि कैसे कैथी को heal किया, and हम अपनी भी tapping करेंगे. So let's understand that all of us, I want you to think today. जिन लोगों ने reply नहीं किया, please go backward, meditate and see what thoughts are coming up. You know, अगर हम सब बोल रहे हैं I'm whole and complete, yes, we were born whole and complete. But lack of love से कहीं ना कहीं we have become not so whole. Now healing ourselves, our bachpan, we can heal our time now also. Very, very important to understand that. So let's have the last book. Yeah. All right. So yesterday we talked about, again, just see how this world is beautifully unfolding. Abhi humne baat kari ki let's become open and receptive. Again, it's all about opening our mind, right? So let's understand how do we open our mind. Examples are going to be given and we will understand. Andy Warhol's open mind was reflected in the way his studio operated. The door was always open. Anyone could walk in off the street and talk to him, make suggestions, or even help make the artworks. There was no privacy, no individual working areas. Everything was open for everyone to see. Now compare this with your offices or your bedrooms. There are people who are closed, उनका bedroom का दरवाजा हमेशा बंद रहता है, office का दरवाजा हमेशा बंद रहता है. लक्ष्मी जी के लिए जब दिवाली होती है तो सब घर में खोल देते हैं कि अरे लक्ष्मी जी is walking in. रोजमर्रा में क्या कर रहे हो? So see, are you actually open? Yeah, you have reasons to close yourself. Like my husband comes in the evening, he's not here right now. He comes, तुम्हारा कमरे का दरवाजा हमेशा खुला रहता है, तुम बंद तो क्या करो? I'm like, no, I like openness. He's like, why is it always open? I said, because I'm comfortable. ये privacy नहीं चाहिए, ऐसे नहीं चाहिए. Whether I'm on my side desk, whether I'm wherever, I don't want privacy. I'm very happy being open. I'm not saying there's harm in having privacy, but see why you feel the need of privacy. What is it that you're trying to hide away? I'm telling you honestly, I'm an open book. Nothing is my darkest things I share, my lightest things I share, because that's all I am, right? Dark and light make me. So why should I not show the bad side or the good side? It's all me. Take me or leave me. A lot of people say the good things about them, but they're not ready to accept the bad thing. अरे मैं बोलूंगा तो लोग को मिल जाए कि हाँ ये तो खुद ही बोल रहा है तो मैं बोलूं. But the minute you say it out loud, you detox from it. A large group of creative individuals slowly formed in his studio, drawn by this attitude of openness. They helped with Warhol's work, suggested ideas for his paintings, and even helped in producing them. Warhol was like a sponge. He soaked up the ideas that were flying around in the studio. His followers were a sounding board, different people, diverse ideas, complementary talents, and remarkable personalities who were given the freedom of the studio. Warhol didn't exercise authority. Stimulated by their many talents, he gave them a free hand. He was passive, a void towards which others gravitated with ideas. It was an exciting, creative atmosphere where people felt free to contribute ideas. Many felt for the first time in their lives the freedom to truly be themselves. The studio became a hub for all kinds of people, all kinds of talents, all kinds of experimental art, anything and everything, including even music and other forms of things. The legendary rock band, the Velvet Underground, and Lou Reed's were proteges of Warhol. The studio had a flat structure, there were no hierarchy. Warhol made everyone feel that they could take part and that everyone had something to offer. And in turn, this helped Warhol to feel the pulse of the contemporary world and react like a seismograph to new developments and trends. His assistants felt confident in suggesting radical new ideas because they knew he'd be grateful. The benefits of the way Warhol Studio operated were so clear that they have been copied extensively in the art world. Jeff Koons, Anselm Kiefer, Damien Hirst, and others have all adopted his operating tech methods. And although Warhol Studio may seem as if it's only possible in the art world, its influence has in fact permeated much deeper. His system also filtered through to design companies and more traditional businesses as well. Many of his companies that function more successfully have adopted a flat structure. Usually in flat companies, everyone owns a chunk of the company, which makes them generally committed to the cause. They have few or no levels of middle management between staff and executives. Workers are more productive when directly involved in decision making, rather than being close supervised by middle management. Employees feel more responsible, comments and feedback reach people quickly. With a flat structure, the workforce can decide jointly on the right team, whatever task is arising. It's eliminating the fear of being judged by a boss. A boss is always afraid of what their boss thinks, and so on and so forth. Now, fear is duplicated, quadrupled, multiplied. Middle management stops inspiring creative thinkers and spread, paralysis throughout the anxieties. ऐसा करेंगे तो ऐसा होगा, ऐसा करेंगे तो ऐसा होगा. Creativity kaput because you're scared. कुछ नया experiment किया wrong हो गया तो boss डांटेगा या मिलेगा नहीं. Creativity जहां पर है वहां abundance है. Get that very very clear. All of us are born creative. A think tank meeting periodically in our workspace is important. A blend of the old and the new. All of our offices have older people and newer people, different Gen Zs, I agree. But getting them to share their idea, thinking hatke, is very, very important. Creativity thrives in a workplace or studio that is open to possibilities and new ideas. No matter how crazy they might appear, knowing they will not be laughed at but taken seriously. An open studio creates open minds. To an open mind, there are multiple solutions. A fixed mind only has one possible solution, and it cannot cope with change. It's rigid, snaps when flexed. So, kya hota thinking mein? This is perfect. This is the way it is. It's a fixed the mindset. But if you're like, okay, this and something higher best will unfold, and let's bring on the magic. Then you're creative. Then you just see what's going to happen. Ludwig van Beethoven, he says, barriers are not erected, which can say to aspiring talents in industry, thus far and no farther. So, अगर आपने और मैंने barriers बना लिए हैं, तो कैसे आगे हम thrive करेंगे? We can't go far. But if there are no barriers, we can go really far as we want. Today, I will conclude my reading at this chapter because I want to do a little longer meditation about affirmations. And of course, we will have a heart thought as well. So tomorrow we will read from Thoughtful World. And whoever would like to read, please raise your hand. Letting go. Wow. Amazing. So all the books are unfolding into the same thing which we talked about. The first book talked about let go. That we are we're holding on to our rigidity ideas and we should just let go and flow like water. Here we are, amazing. I let go of the need for this condition in my life. So if we still have a habit that you are doing, ask yourself, how does it serve you? What do you get out of it? If you had no longer had it, what would happen? Even gussa and weight in our body, please ask your body, why do I get angry? Or why do I eat so much? Or why do I react like this? And then ask yourself, क्या serve कर रहा है मुझे? What purpose is serving? ये negativity मेरी body में है, आ रही है. Yeah, what is the purpose? My life would be better. Why do you believe that? You don't deserve to have a better life. This belief is very, very important. Pratima ji, over to you. I let go of the need for this condition in my life.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
We create habits and patterns because they serve us in some way. Sometimes we are punishing someone or loving someone. It is amazing the number of illness created because we want to punish a parent or love a parent. I'm going to have diabetes, just like my daddy, because I love my daddy. It may not always be on a conscious level, but when we start looking within, we will find the pattern. We often create negativity because we do not know how to handle some area of our lives. We need to ask ourselves, what am I feeling sorry about? Who am I angry at? What am I trying to avoid? How will this save me? If we are not ready to let something go, really wanting to hold on to it because it serves us, it doesn't matter what we do, it will not work. When we are ready to let it go, it is amazing how the smallest thing can help us release it. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Pratima ji, for reading so beautiful. And we will all release it. And let's go for affirmations and let's see how each one of us can program ourselves into a world of affirmations. And we can let ourselves loose. All right, everyone. Is Shivani the co-host or she's not even here? So Akshay, would you want to record instead? Rahul sir, please make Akshay the co-host. Maybe he can record for all of us.
Yes, I'll record.
Thank you so much. So Akshay Agarwal can be made the co-host and then I'll start. And this is something we should be trying to save this meditation. It will help all of us.
You can start I'm already the co-host.
Wonderful. Let's close our eyes. Our back straight. Our feet firmly placed on the ground below. Our hands comfortably resting on our thighs, facing heavenwards. Each one of us is going to be open and receptive this very moment and forever in life. So it is. For this, let's take a deep breath in. Observe our breathing. And ever so gently exhale. Once again, take a deep breath in. And exhale. The last time for this morning, let's take a deep breath in and exhale. Life is magical. Life is beautiful. Each one of us is creating our life the way we think it's right. But let's understand that the divine is always protecting us. The divine is always there for us. Every day in every way, each one of us is becoming better and better. Every day I need, whatever I need is coming to me so easily, so effortlessly. My life is blossoming in total perfection. I have everything I need to enjoy my here and now. I am the master of my life. I am the creator, the artist, the painter of my life. Everything I need is already within me. All I have to do is reach within to reach out. Perfect wisdom is in my heart. And I expand my angel heart every day, every moment. I am whole and complete in myself. I accept all the flaws that I had, but I let them go ever so easily. I love and appreciate myself just the way I am. I accept all my feelings as part of me. I love to love and be loved. The more I love myself, the more love I have to give others. It's like I'm an open person. The more I give, the more I'm filled with so much more of whatever I give. So I give very easily. Moreover, when I give so easily, I receive even more easy because I receive love freely. I receive compliments easily. I receive abundance in all forms because I am the greatest receiver. I attract loving, satisfying relationships in my life. I attract loyalty. I attract a wonderful staff, wonderful colleagues, wonderful co-workers. My relationship with my loved ones is growing happier and more fulfilling every single day. I now have a satisfying, well-paying job. My business is giving me so much of profit. I love doing my work. I am richly rewarded creatively and financially. I'm an open channel of creative energy. I'm dynamically self-expressive. I enjoy relaxing and having fun. I communicate easily and clearly. I'm very effective in my communication. Whatever I communicate is understood so easily by everyone and anyone. It's like I'm crystal clear. It's all right for me to have everything I want. In fact, I am deserving, I am worthy. I have time for everything that I desire. I have time for time. I have time for energy. I have time for becoming wiser. I have so much more money to accomplish whatever I desire because I live an abundant life. I'm always in the right place at the right time, successfully engaged in the right activity under divine guidance. My universe is abundant and there's plenty for all of us. Abundance is my natural state of being. Every day, I'm growing more financially prosperous. The more I have, the more I give. The more I give, the more I get. And the happier I feel. It's absolutely okay for me to have all the fun, enjoy, and yet do whatever I want to do. I am relaxed. I am centered. I have plenty of time for everything in life. I'm now enjoying everything I'm doing. I feel happy just being alive. I am healthy and beautiful and handsome. I'm open to receiving all the blessings of this abundant universe. Whatever I desire comes to me easily and so effortlessly. I am very beautifully paid for all that I do, whether it's service, whether it's something that I get in life, I'm always very well paid. The light within me is creating miracles in my life here and now. I radiate my light. Everything I see is so clear because there is light, light, and light. All things are now working together for good in my life. I am now attuned to my highest purpose in my life. I recognize, accept, and follow the divine plan of my life as it is revealed to me step by step. I give thanks now for my health, for my happiness, for my self expression. I have the infinite power of the goddess within me. I have the infinite power of the God within me. Divine love is working through me here and now to create this very moment. The divine within me is creating miracles in my life here and now. I'm one with the greatest of spirits. My higher self is guiding me in everything I do. God lives within me and manifests in the world through me. I give thanks to Mother Earth for nurturing me and sustaining me every single day. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God flows through me. Wherever I am, God is there. All is well in my world. And so it is. I am a blessed soul, and I know that very well. I am a receiver of love, light, abundance, healing blessings, wishful thinking, hope, and everything there is there in this world. I'm growing spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, physically, financially, in all forms of my being. I am prospering, and so it is. Let's bow our heads in gratitude towards Mother Earth. Let's look up at the universe, open our arms, thank it for having our back. Thank you, universe, for always guiding, protecting, ensuring that I am here for a reason, guiding me to make me understand the reason. Thank you to the cosmos for including me in your Leela, to the divinities, to the angels, to the guardians, to all universal blessings, to all universal teachings. May I be a channel of love and light, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's spread our angel heart. I am love. I am light. I shine bright, bright here, bright now. I prosper wherever I turn. I'm genuinely open and receptive to all the love and abundance from all possible universes. I'm the greatest receiver, and so it is. Let's fold our hands and be grateful. Let's rub our hands. Bless our head for rewiring, reprogramming, restructuring, unlearning, and learning. Let's bless our face and all the five senses. May we see better, may we hear better, may we say better, may we feel better, may we sense better. Let's bless our neck, our shoulders, our arms, our backside of our body up to down, our front side of the body down to up. And let's bless each other with more love, with more light, with more abundance. Ruchi, Jitendra ji, Pratima ji, Vijay ji, Meenakshi, Usha ji, Akshay, Nikita, Anita, Pina, Pinaji, Bhavika, Amit, Richa, Surender ji, Ritu, Rahul sir, Dhruv and Parul, Neha, Supriya, Kamakshi, Shami, Ankur, Niriksha, Bhavika, if I missed, or Manisha. Lots of love, lots of light to you all and to all our co-seekers, our Sanghamitras, and to every sentient being on Mother Earth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, any questions? Any doubts? Just one request to everyone. Please, please, please close your eyes. Go back in your childhood and see when you asked for love or when you wanted love and attention, did you get it? Just see, understand, accept. Tomorrow in our journey, it'll help us. Please, a humble request. So thank you everyone for making my morning magical. And let's see each other tomorrow at 5 with more love, with more light, with more abundance. Thank you, thank you, thank you everyone.